Rusame reader, Song, and today I will be reading to you from Stars and Moonflowers in Our Garden by Rainbow Star _ 772. That's me! Now, on to chapter 33, Kittens and Chamomiles. Russia smiled a little as he left America's office. He'd enjoyed his time with America and couldn't wipe the smile off his face. Though he had a little bit of time he could waste before he needed to head to dinner. So he decided to walk around the outside of the castle for a bit. As he passed by the Chamomiles, his letter wasn't the only thing he saw. There was also a kitten. A quite small and fluffy kitten. They were sneezing a bit and looked old enough to walk. He couldn't see much of the little puffball, so he bent down and got closer to the ground to get a better look at the kitten. The kitten started to weakly hiss at him, showing that the mother was likely feral. The kitten was tucking one of their back legs further under themselves than the other one. That concerned him. He needed to have a look at the little one. So he ignored the weak hissing from the kitten and gently coaxed it into showing him the leg. He found an injury. There was some singed fur on the tail and the area around a cauterized wound on the kit's back leg. The kitten had likely been abandoned by their mother and the rest of their litter. His best guess was that the kitten had been in the area of a magic mishap that hadn't happened too long ago. Though where the mishap had happened, he wasn't sure. The poor kitten. He knew he needed to bring them with him. He wasn't sure if he'd be able to find them again if he let them out of his sight, and the next person who find them may not be so kind. And seeing as the kitten had been able to get around as much as they had, he knew he wouldn't be able to find them again if he left them. He carefully held them in one hand and took off his ushanka before gently plopping them in it, careful to not further injure them. The kitten was a tuxedo with white front paws, black back paws except for one toe on their right back paw, and their white fur went to the bottom of their mouth. They had 2 white spots, one above each eye, almost like eyebrows. Their eyes were olive green and would be pretty if it weren't for the fear they held. The kitten was so scared of him. He wished he could get them to like him, but that would take time. For now, he had to go to dinner and then get this kitten to someone who could heal them. He walked to the dining area as quickly as he could, took a seat, and gently placed his hat in his lap. He got a couple questioning looks from his siblings, which he completely ignored, trying to finish his food as quickly as possible so he could get the cat treated properly by someone. As soon as he was done, he carefully took his hat back into his hands and excused himself. Maybe America would be in his room, so he could go to him. He didn't want to bother him when he was on break, but this kitten needed treatment, so he made his way there as quickly as possible. He knocked on the door, kind of frantically, hoping America would help him. "America, I'm sorry to bother you so soon after your shift," he said as soon as the door opened, dipping his head. "But I need help getting this kitten treatment." He lifted his head to see that the door was open to a room full of several people, one of which was Canada, another which was America. America was getting up from his spot at the desk. Then he came over to him. Russia looked at America and smiled nervously. "The kitten is in my hat. My guess is that they were involved in some sort of magical mishap." America nodded a little as he came closer, taking a look at the kitten before picking them up. He got a good look at the injury, carefully handling them so as to not cause further harm. "Sakura, could you use any of your abilities to heal them? Or do I need to collect myself something for stamina and energy?" America asked, directing his attention back into the room. "I can get them. I'm on break, so I have plenty of energy." A slightly high-pitched feminine voice purred. Then a second person joined America at the door. They had long white hair with red tips. They were in some sort of uniform. Russia vaguely recognized it as a schoolgirl uniform from a different kingdom. They also had cat ears and tail, with bits of red near the end of the mostly white tail. They had red eyes and a red circle in the middle of their face. But Russia didn't recognize them, so he looked to America, hoping to get an introduction. Oh, right. Russia, this is my friend Japan. I call her Sakura, America said as he gently gave Japan the kitten. Russia smiled nervously and waved at Japan. He watched as she healed the kitten, and happily took them back when Japan was done healing them. Russia dipped his head and smiled, then looked at Japan. Thank you for healing them. I'll be out of your hair now. America smiled at Russia. Don't say it like that. You're not a bother. You're welcome here anytime. But... Hey, no, you're no trouble. I mean that, America said, cutting him off. I gave you the information to get here because I am okay with you being here. Look at it as an invitation to come here. Russia nodded a little at that and smiled. Thank you, Russia said. I'm still going to head out. I'll see you tomorrow, America. America nodded and walked over, giving Russia a gentle hug before he said goodbye. Good night, Russia. See you later. Russia hugged back, a bit of blush making its way onto his face. Well, it was a half-hug, as he was keeping the kitten held with one of his arms. Eventually, he let go of the hug and smiled at America before leaving. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow!